Hi, Claudia here from Create with Claudia, and today I'm going to show you these gorgeous batik fabric earrings. They're actually batik fabric vinyl earrings. You're going to turn some batik fabric into vinyl and turn them into earrings. They're really easy to make, they're fun to make, and you can, the sky's the limit with the choices of fabric that you have. So here's a cute pair that's sort of like a triangle shape. Here's another half moon pair I made. And depending on what kind of fabric you have, you could go, crazy with this. You have a different look for every outfit you have. They're really thin and lightweight. They have a lot of movement to them. Here's another pair. I like these, sort of a little bit lighter. Circles, they're lots of fun. And here's a darker pair I made. Unfortunately, this one, the pattern gets a little lost, but they're still nice little teardrop shapes. So anyway, let's get started. You're gonna need a bunch of supplies. You are going to need, first and foremost, fabric. And I suggest getting batik fabric. You could use other type, sort of a regular kind of fabric, non-batik fabric, but I will show you why you probably want to go with batik instead. The thing about batik is the front and back are pretty much the same, maybe a little bit different, but enough, not enough to make a real difference, especially if you have them on your earrings, if you're wearing earrings. So we're going to today do this really pretty purple circle. But I want to show you sort of a regular fabric. Here's some geese. But you can see the back is a lot paler, and you definitely don't want, I wouldn't use that because you are wearing, if you put your hair up or something, you'd be able to see the back of that and it wouldn't look so nice. Okay, so you need your fabric, and you don't need a lot. Earrings aren't that big. Depends on how big you want your shape to be. You're going to need some jewelry fixtures. You're going to need 2 hooks. I call them shepherd's hooks, they're just earring hooks, and 4 jump rings, and the size should be up on the screen. So 4 jump rings and 2 hooks. You're going to need a couple of tools. First, you're going to need good scissors. You definitely want to have good, well, they don't need to be like good fabric scissors or anything, but they need to be tough scissors that can cut through the vinyl. You're going to need 2 different types of jewelry tools. And unfortunately, this one, I must have gotten damp or something because it's all crusty, but it'll do for today. You need a pair of round nose pliers, and a pair of flat nose pliers. And if you don't have those, you probably could use like a small pair of needle nose pliers or something if you have a pair in your toolbox. This most people probably don't have. It's a hole punch. It's a mini hole punch. So it's a real tiny little hole punch. And I got that online. And that's easy to use. And that's the perfect size for the hole for the earring. You are going to need some templates. So templates, I actually went to a photo editor and printed out some shapes and sort of added a little hole there, so maybe you can see better on my hand, so you can see that's where the hole's going to go for the earring hook. So here's like a half moon, there's the circle. I printed them on regular paper. It's up to you how you want to. So anyway, you're going to need your shapes. And if you go to the tutorial on my website, it actually has a template on there that you could use to give you some more ideas. You're going to need a marking tool. And I use this fine line permanent marker. I tried a bunch of different ones, and you're going to want to try some too. It depends on what you have. A ballpoint worked, but it didn't work well. It's pretty hard to draw on the vinyl. So I found this was the best thing for me for drawing on the vinyl. But, test out different things. You're going to need it. You're going to need an ironing board and an iron. And the most important thing is you're going to need iron-on vinyl. Now, I used Heat and Bond for this, but there are a lot of different brands out there. So you use whatever you have or what you like the best. I just preferred, this worked out fine for me. This is an iron-on glossy vinyl, and here's a smaller piece of it because you don't need a lot for this project. You really just need some scraps. If you do vinyl and you happen to have this and you have some scraps, don't throw them out. This is perfect for these earrings. But that's what I use, is an iron-on glossy vinyl. It has like a paper backing, and I'll show you a little bit of that process. I'm not going to show you the whole thing because I really recommend to follow the manufacturer's instructions when you're applying the vinyl to the fabric. That's where I'll leave that, but I'll show you a little bit of the process that I do. So let's get started. First thing you want to do, of course, is prepare your fabric, and that's with the vinyl. So you're going to cut out 2 pieces. We're going to put vinyl on the front and on the back side of this, which is a little different than just putting it on the, of course, on the front. If you don't put it on the back, you don't have to put it on the back, but there might be a tendency for that fabric to fray over time, and I just think it adds a little more stability to the earrings. So we're going to cut pieces that'll fit sort of nicely right there. I think that's good enough. And you want 2 pieces approximately the same size. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, now, excuse me. You also want to make sure the instructions on your vinyl will tell you also how to prep the fabric. In my case, I washed it and I ironed it. I did not use any fabric softener. The other thing is look out for little pieces of fuzz or strings, because once that vinyl's on, it's on and it won't come back off and you can't get them out. So the first thing you do is put the vinyl on one side, and in this one, I peel it. And that seems to me to be the hardest part. I don't know why I can't ever peel. I don't have real long fingernails, so maybe that's part of it. I sort of flick it back and forth and there we go. Almost. Come on. This is the worst part of this whole process. And wouldn't it fail? It never fails, of course, that trying to film a video and I can't get it off. There we go. Okay. So you don't want to toss this. In my case, again, I don't know what your instructions say, but in this case, I'm not going to toss that paper bagging. And you're going to sort of position this wherever you want on the fabric. If there's a pattern on it, it has a sticky side and a slick side. I put the sticky side against the fabric because that's the side that has the adhesive on it. And then I'm going to take this over and press it. And it is hot. I will warn you, very, very hot. So wait till it cools. Always, yeah, just watch out your fingers. You don't want to burn your fingers. Now, normally if I wasn't putting any vinyl on the other side, I would take the paper off and throw it away. The paper in this case was a protection for the iron, so the vinyl wouldn't stick to the iron. But I'm going to leave it on because I'm putting vinyl on the other side. So I flip it over, and I get my other piece of vinyl. This one seems easier. Yes, okay. And you're going to sort of want to feel around. You want to try and line it up as best as you can so you don't waste anything. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're really cutting away a lot of this. Again, sticky side down against the fabric. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and press this as per the manufacturer's instructions. Okay, so it is done and it is cooled. So I'm going to peel off this paper, if I can. On both sides. All right, you can toss that now, that's trash. And there you have your double-sided vinyl batik fabric ready to use. It's nice and cool now, and you can sort of hear it. It's got that nice vinyl finish. So now we're ready to trace our shape onto it. So choose what shape you're going to use. Maybe because we have the circles in here, maybe I'll use circles. That might be fun to do, and those are easy to cut out. I do warn you, if you have a real intricate shape, it might not be as easy to cut out. So you're going to take your pen and you're going to trace around your shape, making sure it's on the vinyl on both sides, and it should be. Yep, we're good. It's a little hard to see because the vinyl's clear. All right. Trace around the whole circle, and don't forget to add where you're going to use the hole punch. That's a really important guide. Okay, so there's your one circle, one for the first earring. We'll go ahead and trace around it again. All right. So hopefully you can see the black outline. That was one thing I also found when I was doing the darker pair of earrings. It was really hard to see my marking lines. So it's something to keep in mind. But anyway, so these are ready. I'm gonna cut these shapes out now. And one thing before I start, I'm gonna cut inside of that black line. That way you don't see it on the earrings. They're pretty easy to cut out. Okay, there are my circles. I like the way they look. They're pretty even. I'm not always the greatest, smoothest cutter, but I think they look okay. And for these earrings, I think they're fine. You take your hole punch and you're gonna put a hole right there where you drew that mark. And you gotta sort of look at it a little bit sideways so you can get the light. And you wanna get right on that hole that you drew, which is kind of hard, harder than you think it is. And you're just gonna punch that out. There we go, there's one. And there's the other. Maybe you can see it better on here, but there we go. All right, and now it's time to assemble the earrings, the fun part. Okay, we're just gonna start with one. You're gonna take one of your jump rings and you're just gonna open it very slightly. I'm gonna try and do this. I am not the greatest jewelry maker, but there we go. I have this. I do like to make earrings from time to time. You just open it a little bit and you're going to feed that through the hole that you made in the vinyl. And then taking those flat nose, you're going to sort of close that back up. And this is where I always have problems. I think my fingers are too big or something. I don't know what the problem is, but now, if I had more time, I would actually make that a little bit neater. You definitely want to pinch it shut because the fabric, the fabric part of the earring is pretty narrow, so it can easily slip through that opening. But that's pretty good, so I will take that. So you're going to do that, and you're going to repeat it for the next one. All right, I like that one. All right, so they're done. And the next thing, you're gonna set those aside for a second. You're gonna get the rest of your materials. You need your hook and the other jump ring. And this time you're gonna open up as little as you need to. And you're gonna hook it this time. This jump ring goes on the bottom of the bottom of the hook. And then you're gonna take one of the earrings and hook this jump ring to the earring jump ring, and then you're going to close those up. Get my fingers positioned right here. I think I got that pretty. Watch your fingers, don't pinch them. See, that's still a little open, and these will come apart. So I'll take that. There we go. So there's one earring, and now let's finish up the other one. All right. I am finished. There are my earrings. That is all there is to it. I love these purple ones. Actually, I think they're my favorite of the bunch. I knew when I saw that fabric I was gonna love it. But there you go. There's your pair of purple earrings, great hanging earrings. Hopefully you can see those okay. There's the purple ones, and here are some other pairs. I mean, they are just so much fun, and just, you know, don't throw out those scrap fabrics. It's a great use for scrap fabrics. They're easy to make, and they make a great unique gift. Or hey, just jazz up. Hey, can you imagine these with a black sweater? Just jazz them up, jazz up any outfit you have. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.